Amen. Well, good morning. Happy Easter to everyone. I am Pastor Jarrett. Very excited to have everyone that is here with us this morning. I've created quite a stir this morning, it seems. Everyone seems much more surprised to see me in a jacket and a tie than they are that Jesus actually rose from the grave. But this is far less a miracle than that. And so we have gathered this morning to celebrate that he is risen, and you can say he is risen indeed. He is risen indeed. Amen. Somewhere along the way, most of us were asked a question and told that it was the most important one we would ever face. You probably heard it first as a child from a very well-meaning adult leaning down with great seriousness, asking, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Then it followed you into adolescence and into college applications, into career counseling offices and life planning seminars. It showed up in graduation speeches and self-help books and quiet 3 a.m. moments of personal reckoning. What is my purpose? What should I do with my life? What path should I take? What am I here for? Rick Warren built a purpose-driven kingdom on those questions. And these are not bad questions. Don't get me wrong. They are, in many ways, genuinely important ones. A life examined by these are better than a life lived on autopilot. I'm sure that you would agree. But I want to suggest this morning, on this Easter morning, that they are not the most important kinds of questions. They are not even close to the most important question. And the reason so many of us are exhausted, disoriented, and quietly bereft, even when we have achieved what we set out to achieve, is that we have been answering the wrong question. The most important question in life is not what, it is who. And it took an empty tomb, a weeping woman, and the voice of the risen Christ in a garden to make that clear to humanity. Consider for a moment what questions actually do to us when we make them central in our lives. They make us first the architects of our own meaning. When purpose is primarily a matter of what I am going to do with my life, then I am the one who must construct it, to sustain it, to defend it. My identity becomes the sum of my choices, my achievements, my productivity. And when I cannot produce, when illness comes or failure arrives or careers are destined to evaporate, I have no ground left to stand on. The what that I built my life around turns out to have been resting on nothing more durable than my own efforts. The what questions also tend to make us relentlessly future-oriented in a way that robs us of the present. We are always moving towards the next accomplishment, the next milestone, the next version of ourselves. And there is a particular loneliness in that kind of posture, because no achievement, once reached, turns out to be the one that finally satisfies us. The horizon always seems to keep moving. The what is never quite enough. There is something else, too. The what questions, for all their apparent seriousness, are fundamentally impersonal. They are questions about tasks and functions and roles. They treat life as a project to be managed. And the deepest parts of us know that life is not primarily a project. It is a relationship. We were not made primarily to accomplish things. We were made to belong to someone and for someone to belong to us. This is why the most painful experiences in human life are not usually failures of achievement. They are ruptures of relationships, loss of someone that we loved, the dissolution of a marriage, the estrangement of a child, the death of a friend or loved ones. What wounds us most is not that we have failed to reach our goals. It is that we lost someone. And what heals us in the end is not more accomplishment. It is the restoration of presence. Someone who knows our name and will not leave us. Mary Magdalene understood all of this in a way she could not articulate. She had come to the tomb in the early morning dark, moving through grief with a stubborn loyalty of someone who has decided that love does not stop at death. She had watched him die. She had seen where they had laid him, and now, before the sun had fully risen, she was back. And she was not asking what questions at the tomb. She was not pondering her purpose or planning her future. She was just remembering who he was and how much he had meant to her and so many others. She had organized her entire existence around a person, and that person was gone. And nothing else in the world seemed to matter at all. Well, the disciples, the guys, they had come and gone. They had seen the empty tomb, puzzled over the folded linens, and just returned home. But Mary, she stayed. And because she stayed, she was the first to hear her name spoken by the risen Christ. Not only the first to discover what had happened, but the first to encounter who he really was. He was truly who he had said that he was. When Jesus appears to Mary, he asks her, "Why are you weeping? Who are you looking for?" Her answer, not recognizing him at first, was, "Well, I am looking for my dead friend's body." And in response, he speaks her name. Mary. And in that one word, Jesus does several things at once that no achievement, no purpose, no what could ever do. First, he establishes his own identity. The one who speaks her name is not a stranger, not a theological concept, and not an idea about God. He is a specific person who knows her specifically, who has walked with her and taught her and seen her at her worst and called her forward nonetheless. The resurrection does not produce an abstraction. It restores a relationship. The risen Christ is the same Christ who knew her name before the tomb, and he still knows it. He also establishes her identity. He speaks her name. To be called by name is to be told, you are not anonymous. You are not a category. You are not merely one of the mourners at another failed revolution. You are Mary. You are irreplaceable and known, and the one I came looking for. The resurrection is personal before it is cosmic. It reaches into specific grief of a specific person and speaks her back into life. And he establishes the answer to the deepest who question of them all. Who was Jesus? Mary oriented her life around this person. She had followed him in Galilee, supported his ministry, stood at the cross when others fled, and arrived at the tomb before sunrise. Everything that she was, she had given in the direction of this who. And the resurrection tells her, you were right to do so. The one you gave yourself to is the one who will not stay dead. The one you oriented your life around is the Lord of life itself. This is the answer that Easter gives to the question of human existence. Not, here's your purpose, here's your plan, here is the what that will give your life meaning, but here is the who. Here is the one who knows your name. Here is the one who went into the darkness ahead of you and came back from the other side to get you. Orient your life in relationship to this person, and you will find that you have found the only thing that is worth living for. Christ is risen. He knows your name. And he is asking you, even now, who are you looking for?